Okay, so today we're going to talk about Comb Financial, which is a project on the Fantom network. This project has been out for over a year now. They started off as a node project before pivoting to some other revenue generating methods. Right now, I think their focus is liquidity mining, which is pretty good, in my opinion, a lot more sustainable than nodes. So if you start here, you can see that the team is doxed, so you can see all the devs that work here. So, which is something I really do like. Feels gives us a sense of closeness, if you may say. But yeah, so let's get started. So if we launch here, you're gonna be greeted with their pools or their farms. Basically, how it works is whatever farm you want to invest in, you can deposit, the tokens that are relevant, and they will pay you out in comb tokens based on the APRs shown here. What they'll do is they're going to take the tokens that you deposit and then farm them on the original protocols like Equalizer, Beethoven, Spooky Swap, Spirit Swap, etc. And they will get the emissions and pay you back through their Zcom system. Pretty cool. But yeah, so like if you see here, like the Ring USDC, it's got some pretty high APR, very low TVL so far. But once, as you know, if the TVL increases, the APR will decrease. So that's a heads up there. And if we look at their Zcomb product here, basically how this works is you lock comb tokens for a certain amount of time. So for example, I can lock 100 comb tokens, 1,000, whatever, and you can lock it for like I think it's like 6 months, a year, and 2 years maximum. And in return, you're gonna get something called Zcomb, and this basically just tells you it's like a way to numerically describe your stake in this system. So the more Zcom you have, the more you'll get paid out, basically. Um, and the longer you lock, the higher the Zcom, and of course, the more comb you lock, the higher the Zcom. And as you can see here, these are the tokens that they're paid out in. So, like I stated earlier, Beats, Boo, Spirit, these are the emissions from those original projects, from those other projects that we're farming from. Scream, I don't know if they're still active. I think they might change this out soon. And of course, got WFTM and then Comb. And once again, these are subject to change depending on what they're invested in at the time. But of course, this APR is dynamic, so depending on market conditions and all that stuff, this could go up, it could go down. So it's not a guaranteed 30% as you see right here. Um, that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. And of course, they also have some other stuff. Like for example, they have Zap, so you can zap all your Zcom rewards into just Comb, if that makes it easier for you to kind of organize. Um, I know because some people get pretty annoyed trying to keep track of all these different tokens. So that's also just a little handy feature there. If you go to dashboard here, so they got some more services. So the first one is called Capsules. Capsules is pretty similar to Zcom. Basically, the only difference is you're paid out all in Comb instead of all these different tokens that we saw earlier. It's all through liquidity mining once again. And then for pods, it's also liquidity mining, but with these you're paid out in Fantom, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and AVAX. So I don't think you're able to mint most of these anymore because there was a cap to how many that you can mint, but you can buy it in the marketplace, which I'll show you in just a second. But once again, basically they're going to farm those emissions, and then they're going to sell those emissions for these tokens, and that's the tokens that you're going to be paid out in. And then if you see here, Hives, so these are their original nodes that they used to offer a long, long time ago when they first started out. Now they don't allow you to create nodes anymore, but there are existing nodes that were created from way back then. However, they did cut the rewards rather drastically, so you're not definitely not getting as much comb as you used to. But yeah, so these nodes generate comb, like a fixed amount of comb, and you're paid out daily. Um, but yeah, this obviously they cut the rewards for sustainability purposes, which is pretty good. So So if we go to the marketplace here, these are where you can buy like hives, pods, and capsules. So if you go to hives here, so once again, hives are their original version of nodes. So like these are the lowest ones. I think these are called Brotons. So you can buy them in Comb, you can buy them in USDC, probably Fantom, DAI, some other tokens. And then we've got top bars, which are a little bit better. They generate a little bit more Comb, so a bit more expensive here. Langstroths generate a little bit more Comb, more expensive. And then the War Rays, these give you the most amount of Comb, but of course they are the most expensive as well. Okay, and so the Comb ecosystem also has something known as Utopia, if you can see here. This is like a separate little dApp. But basically what this is, it's still liquidity farming, liquidity mining, and basically what they do though is it's an auto compounder. So they will take your tokens that you deposit, and then you'll get the rewards, but the rewards that you get are re-deposited into the farm. So basically you're auto compounding, which is really cool. So if right now they offer these kinds of tokens, it's like for example, Spooky Day Stable USDC and Day, about 20% APY, got some 77% APY. This Equal Chill Fantom, this Chill and WFTM, so about 300% APY. There's definitely some pretty cool stuff here. And then if you see here, they're like ranked by how risky they are. It's like A is probably like the least risky, got B, and then C, so on and so forth. That's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, so right now I think the team is really focusing on Utopia because I think they do plan on releasing more pairs. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on this, and then depositing uh, stable coins. That's probably what I like, stablecoin farming. But what's cool here is that they've made it really easy for you to get into these farms. So if you stake directly in a protocol, you often have to like split your coins into two or three equal ratios, which can be annoying. And then you have to trade it in for the LP tokens, which is annoying again. And then you have to, you know, so on and so forth, right? With Utopia, all you got to do is have like USDC or like Fantom or DAI or USDT, and then you just buy whichever liquidity farm token that you want. It's like Spooky Day, right? This is my favorite one. All I gotta do, have USDC in my wallet, right? Buy however much I want, and I'll get this. And all I have to do is hold this stable coin in my wallet, and then it will increase in value. Basically, in the future when I'm ready, I'll be able to just sell the stable coin for a profit. That's kind of the idea here, or the LP token for a profit. So that's really really cool. And that's really cool because they've just simplified it for the general user, right? For the new users, um, which I think is really valuable. But yeah, so that's kind of a Comb Financial. You can kind of see their tokens pretty cheap right now, right? This area here was when they first launched, when they were still a node project. So Comb was like in the hundreds of dollars. But since then, right, also the bear market, we've dropped quite a lot. Right now it's about what $2-3, so it's pretty cheap. I do like Comb. I'm slowly buying a little bit more every time now and then. Compounding a little bit every now and then into Zcomb because I do like those other tokens. So once again, if we go back to Zcomb, these are considered fairly blue chip, right? Spirit Swap, Spooky Swap, Beethoven, compared to like your typical DeFi project, like those 1%, 2% a days or something like that. These projects are fairly a little bit more safe, I'd say. Probably not. It's still pretty risky, but definitely a little bit more safer than those degen projects. So that's one of the reasons why I invested here. Obviously, you're not going to get paid out a lot. 30% APR, it's not going to give you like $100 a day off of $1,000 investment. Maybe like a dollar or less, depending on the APR a day. So it's definitely nothing crazy. But I can definitely, in my opinion, count on this to be a little bit more safe. Once again, though, this is not financial advice. Definitely do your own research when investing in these kind of projects. Like crypto is obviously super super risky. Um, but yeah,